But you know what? Like this, it will be good. We can do a little countdown, and we can get things started in the proper way. Don't think that a pause at this moment in time is all too influential anyway, right? Doesn't do much. Little sneaky barracks play here being made. Our boy Innovation knows what he likes, and he likes to definitely confuse his opponents here. ZEST may be prone to start making a zealot, as we know he likes to. As soon as he sees there's no barracks here, he's going to start protecting himself for a potential proxy. And, well, we know it's not anywhere near his base, but it's going to be a long while before ZEST ever scouts here. It's going to have to be quite a lucky moment for him if he does spot that. Go. Is he... Okay, yeah, still gonna go for the Cybercore. It looks like ZEST is figuring it out. Knows that he doesn't need himself that zealot. Knows that he's just gonna continue onwards. I wonder if it's the double gas here. I suppose that it should be, right? Already an indicator that it's most likely not a double proxy Rex. And if it is, then it would be more likely that it's like Reapers or... maybe concussive shell, something like that. I don't know. Well, factory is being built in the main base. He sees that, so I think he feels pretty secure right now. So yeah, smart plan there from ZEST. Notice that there's nothing crazy with marines and bunkers coming in, so he has time to get himself that Cybercore and the Nexus. Just make sure that he's going to be somewhat okay against a Reaper, and then continue onwards. Cool stuff. Gets pushed away with our Reaper very quickly, of course, but I mean, it's his first scouting unit. Coming in at a reasonably regular time. There's a slight delay in the barracks production here, of course, since he will have to fly that back over. Did go full double Reapers, though. Might be enough to keep this Protoss player in check for a little bit. There's a second jump up cliff there that ZEST did not manage to block off. Looking like he's struggling a little bit here now, losing 3 workers already. May lose some more. The Salient comes in as well. And that could be rough. Maybe the Reapers decide to just go around. They are just going to go back in, actually. Realizing there's a lot of probes here for the taken, and he is going to take full advantage of this situation. There we go. Already 6 probes have gone down. This is quite the severe bloodbath of probe bodies. A horrible probe blood count, body counts here. Wow. That's 2 Reapers and a Hellion. Crazy. I feel like that is with ZEST as well. Being just a little bit more secure, right? Because he did see the barracks missing. You would anticipate that he expects Reapers to be coming in. Maybe he just didn't know about this cliff jump. I mean, it's still a fairly regular new map, but I would imagine he knows, right? I would imagine he knows. Shame that he didn't manage to get himself secure from that area, though. Widow Mines now. Looks like that is a much better response so far. Uh-oh. Oh, dear. Oh, dear probes. It's not their lucky day today, is it? Not their lucky day. 5 more go down because of the Widow Mine drop. ZEST, it seems like he had a handle on it. He was aware that it was coming. He just seemed like he only wanted to save half the probes. Thought, you know what, as long as this part of the probe line is safe, whatever, who cares about the right part of the probe line? Maybe he thought he could shoot down the Widow Mine before he would actually burrow. Could be the case as well, of course. I mean, it's such a short, brief moment of time where you have to make a decision, and if that decision is just not working out for like a second, you observe seeing, you know, it's not working out, and then it's already kind of too late. to adjust your plan from there, right? You can't be like, alright, we'll kill it, and then later on, oh no, never mind, so I had to move my probes. Let me do that now. Because then you're just going to stack your probes up even more so. Probably just make it worse. If you do start running from that area. ZEST decides to get a little bit aggressive here. He does have a lot of stalkers, but there's 3 siege tanks available for Mr. Innovation. He's got a nice wall off here for his siege tank as well, so the stalkers, they will have to commit with a blink onto that siege tank if they really want to get it killed off. Not only that, but then of course, because of these supply depots, they'll be stuck here, being shot by this siege tank over here and all those marines. So yeah, he would lose most of those stalkers if he does try to make a play through the front door. The back door, however, let's take a look. Looks like that's pretty well equipped to handle stalker jumps in as well. Incredibly well positioned siege tanks here. Keeping everything secure. Ooh, a little bit of Reaper massacre once again. There they are. And 6 more probes, just like that. Crazy stuff. Innovation really turning up the absolute explosive aggression with those Reapers here. Very surprising in a way that it's working out that well. Stalkers trying to move backwards and make sure that they get to take any units down before they get across the map here that they could. Yeah, those 2 Reapers, it feels like they killed 12 probes on their own. I know the Hellion helped out a little bit, but I mean, that's pretty much the case. We've lost 18 probes in total. 5 of those was because of the Widow Mines as well. But yeah, those Reapers pretty much did the rest of that damage, so definitely worth it. Trying to shut down the retreating path here of these Stalkers. A quick stim forwards, and it is paying off quite nicely here. Innovation with a wonderful play. Rotating around and still sending the rest of his army straight after the Stalkers. And ZEST kind of falling for that one. Losing more value here in this battle. Siege tanks getting in a really good position so far. There we go. Anti-armor missile lands on a reasonable chunk of units. Zealots are on top of the siege tanks right now. And the infantry is thinning out. Is it still going to be enough here for Innovation to start pushing through? Yes, it will be. In the top left side of the map of Romanticide, we have the most creative Protoss in the universe. It is Dragon Phoenix Gaming's ZEST. The engineer of Protoss, the man who makes it happen. Bottom right side, the machine, the annihilator, the man of the macro. He is, of course, Kaiser Gaming's Innovation. I say he's the man of the macro, but I mean, honestly, that previous game was just him out-microing his opponent with the Reapers. To be fair, there is an easy access port on that map, so map like this gonna be a lot more difficult to get himself those worker kills on. I mean, let's get real here. Like, what are the odds that Innovation gets another 12 probe kills with 2 Reapers and a Hellion? Like that, it just should never happen. It happening twice in a series. I think we've seen the downfall of ZEST. I think we've absolutely seen the destruction of ZEST then. Something has happened to him, and he's not well. That's why this is happening now. Either that, or he just needed a game to warm up. That could happen too, right? Because apparently he came in a little bit later. Wasn't quite sure when we started, I think. Alright. Both just kind of checking the map still, their surroundings. Nothing peculiar going around. Stargate play coming from And And a... looks like a scouting Hellion coming out for innovation here. Probably doesn't want to do too much more with it. But then again, to be fair, we saw what he managed to do with that resources of scouting the previous time. And they are. Bill and Phil coming back at it again. Ready to really make some explosive probe lines. Gotta be careful. Play ZEST here, of course. But the adapt's a lot easier for him, of course, to hold it off. And look at that. Look at the difference. 0 probes. Almost no information. I guess he sees the Stargate, so we'll be able to prepare for that one. Uh-oh. Oracle! Oh, no! Oh! The horror! The horror! Oh, man, that is just unfortunate. Oracle flying straight over a widow mine there in the middle of the map. Man. Innovation. Restarting that thing there where people just keep moving their widow mines further and further outside of their base. Trying to catch the Protoss off guard. Little Hellion there, being able to see the third base coming up as well. Innovation staying aware of what's going on. Remember when people used to just get that widow mine like almost in the middle of the map because they, like, the Protoss just had to just be aware a little bit quicker every single time for their Oracle to keep an eye out for widow mines. Then that kind of went away because it became too ridiculous. Innovation brings it back. Brings it back. You know what else he's bringing? All this stuff right here we see on the screen. He's coming in for an attack with, well, what is it exactly? There's one siege tank in there, a Cyclone, a Hellion, and a Widow Mine. A little bit of everything. It's like a one-man band, having every instrument available, but just one of them, right? He's got a Viking, a Medevac. Here we go, the one-man band army will be jumping forward. There's a reasonable force field, but the Zealots are still up front, so the Marines not really stuck where they can't shoot. Keeping going forwards, those Phoenix quite late to the party, couldn't quite intercept much, I think. Well, there are some gaps in the reinforcements line. Alright, here we go. Phoenixes will be quite a handful for these Marines right now. They don't quite have the DPS, but they're shooting the probes instead. And the probes are going down rather quicker than those Phoenix. The Starkers and the Adepts will still be able to hold on here. A bunker was created. I can't believe that actually finished. But, I mean, 12 probes. Is that worth it? I would say it is. I would say it most definitely is. A very well great attack execution from Innovation. Great target fire onto the probes. He knew that fighting those Phoenix just takes too long. It takes too long to get rid of all that HP, and then while you're doing that, those probes, those Zealots, Adepts, Stalkers, everything in between, it's just slowly tearing your army apart. And yeah, it's basically, imagine if a Stalker had, or a Zealot had this amount of HP. What is it? No, it's a full HP. Is it 80? 180? 20 more than this, and I don't even know how many more than that. Well, 8 SCVs, and then the reinforcements of Innovation will be pushing this backwards. +1 attack and a ooh, Dark Shrine. Interesting. ZEST bringing out the sneaky plays here. Alright, alright. Innovation is a player that will make missile turrets absolutely everywhere, normally speaking. That is what I'm used to him. Especially because he's playing as Phoenix right now. I would be surprised if he doesn't. Right? Would not make a lot of sense if he doesn't. Trying to chase it off. Little warping pylon here in the bottom left side as we await the completion of the Dark Shrine. I really hope ZEST doesn't just run them straight in though. I would love to see him wait for Innovation to try and make a move out. And then send in a couple of DTs. Preferably one in each mineral line, or maybe two in each mineral line if he could afford it, but that would be quite a devastating blow, I would imagine. Reinforcements for Innovation is going to trickle in slowly at that point, and it's going to be quite rough to be able to get units in every single one of those locations. 6 DTs. It will be 6. Look at that. He's also getting the blink upgrade here, so he's hoping to be able to avoid having to make full use of a War Prism. DTs will just be able to get themselves wherever they need to. I think the Phoenixes saw this move out, so here come those Dark Templar. Already spotted, of course, Innovation sending in the troops. DTs are taking a lot of damage here. Trying to get the recall with the 2 Archons. And gets away with most of everything. 10 workers go down. Not a bad move there, but does he now have enough to hold back the forces of Innovation here at his own base? Not without those Archons he don't. Oh, even the Shield Battery Overcharge trying to help out, but this is a lot of Terran that was just allowed to siege up wherever the hell it wanted to. Alright, in we go. No probes being pulled. Was that a mistake? Is this the final moment for ZEST? It could be. That's a lot of Marines on the heels of those Zealots. Archon stuck behind the Stark is not really participating in this one. I think that could already be the end here as well. Sub 10 minute game number 2. GG. Innovation. Factory follow-up. Pretty close by to that reactor. Are we going to see some more heavy Hellion or Widowmine pressure this time? We've seen a little bit of it here and there from Innovation, but nothing too concise, right? It never felt like it was the crux of the play. It never felt like it was the way that he had intended to push himself in a forward position into that game. It always felt like something that was just there on top of whatever the hell he was already doing anyway. Oh, that's a good, well-timed adept there. Gonna make life very difficult here for these SCVs. And the command center as well, of course. Not going to be able to get constructed for a little bit here. Innovation playing it smart with that SCV. Has to be careful. 2 adepts will kill them very quickly. Now both of these SCVs in the red. Innovation will have to try and get rid of them with the use of the Hinds. It's in a little bit of trouble there. Does allow those 2 adepts into the main base, but hopefully that will be the end of them. The SCV's trying to help out here, trying to get a good surround going, but it's a difficult thing to do. Still going more into those Hellions. We are up to 3 Hellions right now, but there's no starport or anything of the sort, so 3 SCVs go down. The Hellions will be moving towards the other side of the map. ZEST got a wonderful scout here. He saw that there's only the 1 factory and the 2 barracks at the moment. Should give him an indication as to what's to come. Would like to see a couple of sentries maybe being made. Going heavy into the bio, usually the sentry, one of the more useful units to have. Well, not an entire army of course, but just a couple of them. Be able to split up those infantry units. Incredibly powerful. Just gonna be the blink this time around. No Dark Shrine being made. And off they go. Stimpec about to finish up. How many Marines are we on? It's only 9 of them. Ooh. Doesn't quite get the hallucination. Doesn't quite get the look. Can't do any damage, but it's always annoying to just give your opponent full vision of your base, right? Always feel a little bit exposed, like showing something you didn't want to. Accidentally dropping your towel at the beach house or something like that, you know? Whoops! Yeah. It happens. Alright. Concussive Shell on the way as well. I mean, this is a big army that's being created. The thing is that ZEST, he had a really, really early scout against this. So, either he knows how to beat this, and he's just gonna beat this, or he doesn't quite know how to beat this, and he's just gonna try something here. So far, I mean, I have quite a bit of confidence that I should be doing okay here. Oh boy, that's a lot of SEVs. Okay, that does seep a little bit of my confidence. Slightly. Ooh, but these Stalkers getting on the back end. That is pretty good. Don't go back in there. I mean, this is already the all-in. This is all you need to kill, ZEST. Just keep those Stalkers poking away at those forces. I think that may be a little bit of a mistake here. Sending those units into the... or how do you call this? Being indecisive where to send those Stalkers to. To be fair, you can't just blink after the Marine side as they will just stim right on top of you. Here we go. Big fight, and yeah, that's it. Okay. Nothing out of the ordinary, once again. Looking to see if Innovation will go for the double guess. Yes, he will. Once more. Looks like that's just kind of his new generic opening, isn't it? The double Reaper. Just kind of where it looks like he wants to take the game towards. So, I mean, I can't blame him. It's worked out game number 1. Didn't quite work out game number 2. But Blackburn, we have this big area in the back. I don't see any other entrances here, but... well, we'll see. We'll see what he wants to do with it, right? ZEST, on the other hand, the previous game he got blocked off at the ramp area with 2 supply depots in the barracks. And it looks like just because of that, maybe he decided against scouting this round. It's a little bit of a gamble you can do sometimes, right? If you do it every single time, your opponents will abuse the fact that you're not scouting. But if you only not scout once every, what, 4 games? Once every 5 games? Your opponent's not going to know when you're not going to scout. So you just kind of establish the baseline, right? Where you're showing, I'm scouting, I'm paying attention to what you're doing. You're not going to get away with any quick early game stuff. And after that baseline is established, he just stops scouting for a map. Wouldn't be surprised if he starts it up again next round, right? He's just going to send one of those probes across again. Innovation here, skipping scouting as well, actually. Is it just not something you do in Blackburn? Is that just a map where you don't scout? Is that it? Here I was, thinking it's an integral part. Can I say what maps will be played? No, I can't. It's loser picks, so whatever map they want to play, they will play. Right? Whichever map the loser want to play. So I know it's not going to be 2000. I know it's not going to be Romanticide or Lightshade or Blackburn because we've already had those. So upcoming next, I mean, if we're gonna, you know, we should get everything. Giganatha, right? That's still in the map pool. What's the Oxide? Oxide's still in there, and we have another one. Beckett Industries should still be there as well. I believe that's the current map pool, right? Might be wrong. Might be wrong. I hope I'm not. Little Oracle here comes in, and what is this? There's a Thor in the production. Wait a moment. I've not been paying attention. I've not been paying attention. He's just going straight up Thor He's got an armory, but the armory may just give the implication to ZEST that there's widow mines coming across. It's not the case. There's no widow mines coming across. Is he trying to intercept this oracle with the Thor now? Oh my dear. What are we watching? What is going on? Is this a normal thing nowadays? More Thors in the production. The Bunny surprise. I think Bunny, he likes to go with the Widow Mine, right? The Widow Mine opening with the armory so that they have stealth. And then you make use of that technology that you just have by getting yourself a Thor straight up afterwards. This is just straight into a Thor. This is skipping the entire Widow Mine. And then just going for that Thor. Here comes the Thor. It's tanking a lot of damage. It's being healed up. Stalkers need to target down those Marines. They cannot be healed as efficiently. So another Thor coming across right now with another medevac. That damage is going to go up quite quickly. Target fire off those Thors onto Stalkers or something like that. It's going to be quite maddening. Alright. Oracle is coming into the main base. That is going to be a lot of dead SCVs. Looks like Innovation decides not to fight near the cannons or the shield battery. Will just try to get himself a whole different position here. Needs to hurry up getting everything on top though. Needs to hurry the hacker. Oh dear, this is not good. Oh, picks up the Thor. Alright, does manage to get out of this. Kills off the Void Ray. Repair on this Thor is back on track. 11 SCVs did go down. This is all that Innovation has left. Needs to make it work with a bunch of Marines and 2 Thors. A couple of SCVs repairing the Thors. Here we go. SCVs trying to get there somehow, some way. Innovation knows he's in trouble. Trying to get back there, but the Thors on the high ground, no longer will they be able to be supported by those SCVs. And it's watching some UFC, and it's always fun seeing that the one guy. What's his name again? Like introducing these players and just hyping them the hell up. Starting shouting in their faces and stuff like that. It's crazy. Doesn't feel as comfortable doing it in your own bedroom with nobody else around. Kind of looking at a video game, realizing that your neighbors are gonna wonder what the hell's going on over there. But you know what? Michael Buffer was, yeah, Michael Buffer. Yeah, that's his name. He was polite. He was polite? Is he no longer around? Alright, we do have a score, don't we? There's something nice going on. It's 2-2. 2-2. 2-2. Retired. Ah, alright. Yeah, he was always very good at just bringing out the best, right, out of players. He never really, he always just hypes them up. That's all he does. That's all he's there for. And that's, I mean, that's very, I think that man just understood his part of the job very, very well, right? He realized that he's there to not only hype up the crowd, but also hype up the fighters. And if you hype up the fighters, then you increase the odds of getting a really exciting match, right? So if you manage to get these players as excited, as on edge as possible, maybe, I don't know if it will always, you know, improve that performance, but emotion's gonna run deep, and they will try everything. Oh, you're joking. Oh, no! No! How? How? Get out of here! This is wizardry! That is... No, no, that is unacceptable. How? How? What's in the... What? Jeez Louise. Preposterous. Preposterous. How? No. What? I'm stumped. I'm stumped. He saw that War Prism going. And he's just like, well, alright, let's just drop him here. He'll arrive in a second. And man, that bloody medevac just got out there in the nick of time. Absolutely ridiculous. Oh, that could be rough. Okay, only 2 probes there. Okay, well then. Well then. That is something else. That is something else entirely. That was... How often do you see something like that working out? Man. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. There was a Dark Shrine here as well, by the way, and kind of those DTs probably, probably were supposed to come in there through that War Prism. Nothing of the sort's happening. Now look at this. I mean, he's so incredibly prepared. It is ridiculous how interference matrix. Do it. Might be able to do it. Might be able. Get close and then okay, doesn't want to risk it. Doesn't want to risk losing that energy. I mean, to be fair, he did lose quite a couple of those Marines now instead. Only one probe. That's fine. Welcome to the Gateway Valley, everyone. Today we will be seeing how... what is it? 1, 2, 3, 7 extra gateways here are going to be completed for construction. Supply the benevolent Protoss Overlord here with multiple ways of getting his army wherever the hell he wants it. Quite a big push here coming out of innovation. We'll be running around. I mean, so far, do we even have a third base? We do not have a third base just quite yet. There's the 2 Archons coming in. A big warp in as well. Those are all Zealots. The reinforcements of innovation does not seem to be all too much for the time being, as well as this small cluster of units. Is that really all ZEST has? I think it might be. I think this is absolutely everything ZEST has. He's going for the base race. As innovation is joining in the fun as well. I'm not quite sure what is... Huh. Well, medevacs seem like they do not intend to help out those Marines and Marauders all too much. DT, Stalkers, everything in between. Trying to deal a sufficient amount of damage here to, well, stop anything from happening in the main base of the Terran player. Looks like he was successful. Army supply still in favor for innovation here. I think this army is just of a higher quality overall, but it's a big deal here that we have those Dark Templars, of course. Only a single Raven up in the sky for innovation. He does still have both of his orbitals as well, so as long as he keeps those alive, might be able to use some scans, try to get that type of stuff sorted. ZEST did move most of his probes across the map here, still has 9 of them, as we have 4 SCVs still remaining for Mr. Innovation. Looks like they also have found their way securely across the map. Innovation seemingly wanting to get everything together here. Sees a couple of those units coming in a bit separated here. And no, don't lose that War Prism once again now. Okay, a bit more careful this time around. Innovation will set up shop here onto a third base location. ZEST is going to get revealed. They don't rebuild a Nexus anywhere. Wondering what the plan is from there. Maybe not intending to continue mining here, but intending to just try and get one single fight going. Doesn't want innovation to continue onwards with this game when he has 2 orbitals with the mules, most likely, right? 2 orbitals for SCVs. He should have a very clear economic advantage overall. So I like that ZEST is going to try his best here with the fight. Once again, coming on forwards. Anti-armor missile is absolutely massive. May need to wait a little while before pushing forwards. ZEST is taking that time that he needs. Great dodges on those Widow Mines throughout this battle as well. So far losing that 1 Archon. Still trying to push in here, and it looks like it's a lost battle for ZEST. Still trying his absolute darnest. GG is called. Innovation takes game number 5. Top right side, red Terran player fighting for the Kaisi Gamers. He is Innovation. In the bottom left side, a little blue Protoss player fighting for the Dragon Phoenix Gamers. His name is ZEST. This map, Protoss Victory. Ah, Protoss Victory. Protoss Victory. I don't know. I don't know. Innovation. Strong. Strong innovation. Might be able to take it. This man, he killed 12 probes. 12 probes. 2 Reapers. 2 Reapers, kill 12 probes. Easy. Easy for, you know. I mean, did we not see the interception of the Oracle? Did we not see the interception of the War Prism? This man is an Oracle, if I've ever seen one. This man, he is psychic. He is omnipotent. He's the dictator god. That just knows what's gonna happen. And he dictates then what is gonna happen afterwards. Oh wow, that isn't... Oh no, he doesn't let it go in all the way. Maybe anticipating that he would be able to get that SCV or the Marine, trying to stop it from doing anything. Oh, losing the Adept. Eee, that is rough. Second Adept does come in here, but it's going to be a rough time for him as well. And without his buddy here to help him out. And more Marines about to finish up. To have that Twilight Council coming up as well. Another attempt. Okay, some more Marines now, but he's getting some SCVs, right? Might want to try to shade out if that only one of the shades activates. I suppose he would not have gotten away anyway. 2 SCVs. Let's see the units lost that. Not great, right? Not great. If he had 3 Adepts there, that would have been a whole different ordeal. He actually could have tried to target down those Marines there, I'd say. Man. Blink coming up as well. Third base for ZEST here will be constructed as we have that Raven coming up for innovation together with the well, he just basically went for the 1-1-1. Now adding in another barracks. No third barracks yet. So it looks like he will be going for that third base himself as well. Yeah, I need to continue learning Korean. I had a pretty good start at some point, but then it kind of fell by the wayside. Anyway. You know how things go. You're very motivated for something, and then suddenly you just, well, kind of softens a little bit. Time to reignite those passions. Templar Archives is almost about to finish up here for ZEST. Always had my doubts about the Templar Archives opening over the Robo. I still think that a lot of Protoss do better with the Robo opening. But, to be fair, I've seen some games from ZEST and Parting, I want to say, and they have been making some enormous headway with that Templar Archives opening. The thing is that you want to have a lot of charge zealots with it as well. Kind of the way I saw Bjorn try to dismantle this army was by abusing medevacs, right? If your opponent is mostly relying on Stalkers and High Templars, they're not going to move around that, or Zealots and High Templars, they're not going to move around that quickly. You might even be able to target down the Stalkers and start really jumping around massively, endlessly, really, with those medevacs, as there's just Zealots trying to chase you down. Of course, you can set up in nice positions as well, in between, like, all sorts of places. But we'll have to wait and see if that is actually where Innovation is going to be able to take this game into. Or if ZEST has a different direction in mind. Probably does. But if it will be going that direction, that's the question, of course. 3 Stalkers here, starting to poke. 1 Marine. The most unlucky Marine in this entire platoon here. Imagine that, going to war with all your friends and then 3 Stalkers just appearing and all of them just shoot you. Just you, nobody else. And then they shoot you twice. Imagine that. Oh, that's a big storm. That's a massive storm. Oh my. ZEST pretty much held that attack with a single storm there. Trying to spread out a little bit more so now. Another storm here could just end it, honestly. Okay, a lot of those Marines did get healed up to full again. And more are coming in. A little strange moment to try and get that Archon morphed, but it looks like he will be able to drag him back with the rest of his army. Archon, don't you go off back to the siege tanks now. Has to be careful. He's buying a lot of time, and he's doing this. A lot of zealots in the main base of innovation. That's not looking good. That's not looking proper. That is a very difficult thing to hold. As Innovation tries to push on forwards. This is his final chance now. It does not look like his main base is gonna be saved anytime soon. High Templar go for the feedback instead of the storm. A little bit surprising there for me. Was not anticipating that one. Let's see if Innovation does still have the firepower to push on through here. He's slowly getting a grasp on what's happening back at home as well. In we go, the Marines. Are they enough? It does not look like it. GG is called. Innovation. SCV scouts. We are, again, actually, ZEST not going for the scout here. It seems like he may have been going by the rhythm of Innovation overall, right? So far, we've not seen a single proxy from Innovation anyway. Might be ZEST is kind of picking up on that fact and making use of it for the time being. It's pretty brave to do it, though, in like game number 7, where a lot does come down to the wire here. It's basically a best of 3, and loser picks the map, so first person to win. Gonna have a big advantage. Gonna have that massive advantage of having map pick in the decider match. At least, or just be able to win the map pick of your opponents, right? Could happen as well. What do we got? Again, the Adept trying to be a nuisance. Single Adept doing a pretty good job so far at it. Trying to recharge that shield a little bit more so before going in, as well as having his buddy there. Looks like the bunker may get completed, though. It's just going to go for the Marine instead. Doesn't quite get the Marine again. Travesty for the Protoss player here. Oh, does get the Marine this time around. Alright, that's pretty good. He's still delaying the command center. Not bad. Yeah, actually, he managed to wiggle himself into a pretty good position there. Got a reasonable delay. Didn't lose any Adepts either this time around. Now has 3 of them. Can be even more annoying. Alright, yeah, definitely ZEST showing, you know what? I'm not crazy. This does work. I just need to control it a little bit better. Comes in again. He shows us quite a lot better Adept control here. And just control of the natural base of innovation as well. That comes with it, of course. Uh-oh. Reaper on the probes. Stalkers should be enough here. Does get a little bit of a scout. Surprised he didn't go any further. Okay, there we go. Does see the Twilight and the gateway that is being warped in here. Just no Robo just quite yet, right? No, okay. It is just the Twilight. Third base. As innovation with the triple barracks, stim and combat shields are being produced. Gonna have to wait and see how aggressive he really wants to be with this, right? Would imagine he is going across the map pretty soon, and there's some areas over here, for example, away from those ramps, where you, well, there is a little bit of a ramp there, of course, still, over here and here, but they are quite large entrances. It's very difficult to get a big force fields play in these locations against bio forces. You need a lot of force fields, so you can't make the wall as many times as you would, for example, of course, on somewhere like this. Anyway, ZEST going for 4 sentries so far. I like the decision. Let's see if that will be enough to hold on to whatever innovation decides to throw into the mix here, actually, right? Sometimes they just want to try to get rid of as many gateway forces here as possible and force the Protoss player to stick onto gateway forces for a little bit longer. Alright, is he going to get himself through that area? Nice dodge there. We'll be able to safeguard all of those units. Forcing a single force field. It's a shame there weren't more, but doesn't lose any units. I think that's the biggest of deals. Coming around now, Stalker there as a little scout. We'll be able to pick off 2 of those low HP Marines. Wonderful micro there from ZEST. Great targeting. This innovation looking to rotate now towards the top area. Once again, let's see if he stims in this time around. He's still being careful, still just trying to bait those force fields. Still just trying to have fights removed from him having to push into here with all those sentries nearby. And seeing the production tab, I mean, we're seeing a starport refinery on the way. Still no third base, so... innovation. What is your plan? May just try to get himself a couple of those medevacs in order to... you know, actually engage here as quickly as possible. And then whenever he does get force fielded, he will be able to just grab a couple of those units up with the medevacs again. Making it a lot safer to try and make pushes happen in these situations. Careful. Okay, well that's again, actually quite a couple of those Marines getting caught. As the ball of bio is shrinking. ZEST is getting closer in the army supply towards where innovation is as well. And soon, if he keeps going like this, actually, not enough force fields here to keep the army backwards. And the stim gets right on top of everything this time around. That's a massive play there from innovation. We'll be able to set up quite a nice trade here. Quite an incredible trade. Might even be able to get a couple of those probes if they keep pushing like this. I don't think they need to. I think you want to send your probes backwards as quickly as possible. Maybe not entirely aware of how many more Terran units are behind, but we're coming in. I don't know, guys. That was a tough fight there. Innovation. He does have a third base now as well. The trading actually didn't go as far in favor for Inno as I thought it would. I think the biggest deal is the 800 gas that was lost here, all those sentries in particular. That's a lot of money that is delaying things such as the Robo Bay, and then of course any units that could be coming out of those Robo Bays, which you kind of need as the Terran is going towards more than 60 army supply. You kind of want to start really having that splash damage here, right? The 3 base Terran at least. With that amount of production, you really should seriously consider having that splash damage available. That's what he's trying to get himself towards. See, 4 medevacs. That's a good scan. If he had not scanned that, that could have been bad. Could have been quite gruesome. Wonder if he's checking to see whether or not those medevacs load up again. ZEST feels like the kind of guy that if he sees those medevacs load up, he might just jump down with a blink on to try and get them before they get into dead space. Okay, ZEST here has managed to finally claim the lead in the series here. He's the Blue Brodels from Dragon Phoenix Gamers. He's the Kingslayer, a man that managed the Royal Road in 2014 in the GSL. He is ZEST. Bottom left side, and also a little bit in the middle of the map here, there is a red Terran trying to be a little sneaky, fighting for Kaisi Gaming, the machine dictator, man himself, the prophet, innovation. At least this round, he has proved himself to be a prophet. Yeah, sometimes I mute my microphone to clear my throat a little bit. For a bit of the sniffles, you see, and try to not have that over the cast too much. So. And then apparently I forgot to press the button again. Was having a good time though. It was a really good cast. It probably was some of the best casting I've ever done. It's a shame. It's a shame. So many words were spoken in such a short period of time, but still very articulated, well articulated, and with a depth of knowledge that could only be, you know, equaled by the likes of Artosis or some other great caster. But yeah, it will be lost forever. Probably never going to happen again to that quality. Anyway. Second base here for both players trying to get established. Of course, ZEST a little bit quicker on this one. The proxy. The proxy barracks getting itself 2 of these Reapers so far. ZEST not really taking any damage from them. So, you know, going a lot better than it did game number 1. Reaper's actually already in trouble with this one adept here. Come on, innovation. I mean, people as Clam, like Clam, right? They can take out an adept with a single Reaper. We missed the casting of a lifetime. Why did Bitterwood get a warning? That's odd. Mistake? Okay, okay. Good, 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 good. It's all good now. It's all good now. We'll just have to unwarn him. If that's a possibility. There's a profile forever stained in this channel as the man that got warned. Let's see, should be another Raven here for innovation, I would imagine, right? Going straight into the Robo Bay from ZEST. I like this. I think it's just a little bit tougher to deal with for the Terran, right? Just a bit more beefy overall, right? Doesn't require as fine an execution as those High Templar plays. Don't see this all too often. Don't see this all too often. Oh my dear. Oh no. The humanity. 16 probes. Just like that. He just waddled himself in. He's like, oh, there's an open buffet of probes here. Let me help myself. Let me just have a good hearty breakfast here. And, yeah, that's a problem. That is definitely a problem for ZEST right now. Losing 16 probes like that. Game 9. Game 9, a very likely possibility now. And to be fair, this will be on ZEST map choice. If ZEST... I mean, it is ZEST we're talking about. You may find a way to bring this back, right? I mean... Probe kills are great and all, but there's not that much defending for innovation at this point in time. There's quite a couple of stock. There's only 3 stocks. They don't have blink. Okay, yeah, I'm losing my confidence in my statement there. As I'm looking more into this. Well, let's see. He's coming in. Debs do manage to force some of those units to stay backwards. As the SCV is being pulled, he gets one of them. He gets one of them. And he's out of there. Rough. I mean, again, right, it is such a difficult thing to call. I believe that I've seen people take out Widow Mines as well with just workers, I think, right? If you get a full surround immediately, at the moment it gets on the ground, I think you can kill it. And then if you have Stalkers and fighting units there especially, right, it becomes so much easier. So ZEST just kind of anticipating that he would be able to take it out. And like a slight misclick, right? If you don't right click on the Widow Mine, if you don't A move on the exact right spot or something like that, you may get too many units targeting the wrong thing, right? Still Stalker shooting the medevac instead of the Widow Mine, something like that. You need to be quite careful about all that stuff. And then, yeah, after you've made the wrong call, it's not like you can be like, oh, okay, well, let's make the other one now. It's too late for it then. Innovation trying to break himself through the rocks. It's a single Colossus here with the War Prism speed going around. The Colossus drop. The final potential salvation here for ZEST. Trying to do whatever it can. Vikings coming up. I mean, with that speed for the War Prism available, of course, yeah, in the upgrades, it's a difficult thing to catch up to. I think that was also part of the reason why those Widow Mines were so successful, right? Just the build of ZEST here with... I mean, if you're going for Colossus straight off the bat, with a War Prism and the War Prism speed, that's a big investment. You're not going to have Blink, you're not going to have Phoenix, nothing like of the swords. To make it easier to defend against those Widow Mines, so definitely rough. Almost a 20 supply advantage here now for Innovation. Not that much in the... Actually, no, never mind. 20 supply in the army supply. ZEST is warping in quickly, though. He's got a good amount of shield batteries and a cannon even to boot. See if that will be enough. War Prism is going to get interfered with. That means these Colossus are now stuck on the ground. The Marauders a little bit stacked on top of one another, but there we go. Now moving forwards away from those Marines. Forcing the Colossus to kind of target fire. This is a very difficult fight for ZEST to win. I don't think that he will, but he's trying. He's doing his best. He's doing absolutely everything he can. There's mostly Vikings remaining now. But I mean, the Vikings are a tough thing to deal with. There's still a couple of Marauders, Marines coming in now as well. The Zealots as the last bastion of defense get warped in, but they get targeted down as well. GG is called. It's conclusion time. One more map. It's this man's choice. He is the engineer of Brodels, the creator of builds, the most creative Brodels alive, perhaps. He is the one and only Dragon Phoenix Gamer, ZEST. Maybe not. Maybe creative is just the wrong word. Just intricate in coming up with ideas and putting them together, making them work on pro levels. Alright, bottom left side, a red Terran player. He had a really good run at the start, had lead, and now it's starting to fall apart. One more map remains. He's trying to be sneaky. It looks like ZEST is gonna try to catch wind of this as soon as he's entered this base of the red Terran in the bottom left side. Cozy Gaming's Innovation. 2 barracks. 2 barracks. What will it be? What will it be? There's some gas as well being harvested. Might just be for a factory at home though, of course. ZEST. Look at that. He's a smart man. He sees the one gas and there it is. That Zealot gets itself a queue on the production tab immediately. Tech lab as well, coming in here for innovation. That will not just be simple marine pressure. That will be the marauders coming up. It's a daring play to make, but if it works out wonderfully well. Probe still in the main base of innovation here. Innovation has to be careful not to have those supply depots too delayed. Otherwise those marauders aren't going to get their reinforcements when they need to. Probe still kind of just walking about. There's the first zealot right now, actually. Gonna meet up with a marauder here. Was Innovation sending his marauders backwards to deal with the probe? Was he really? Was he really? That would be very odd, wouldn't it? Still making more marauders. Still going with the concussive shells. So, I mean, this is the plan he's going for. Just looks like he's going for it in his own base. Huh. Interesting. Little probe here on the run still. I mean, he had a marauder coming all the way back, and then he doesn't really go for it. There's a shield battery now in the base of ZEST, as well as more, well, structures. There we go. That's another gateway. I thought it would all be gateways, but one of them is a robo facility. Robo facility with an immortal would be doing quite well now, wouldn't it? I think it would do. There we go. Barracks providing vision. The marauders trying to do whatever they can. There's still a warp gate in production. I think that should finish up, right? Right? It should. Yeah, okay. Immortal about to pop. It's going to be a lot of extra firepower to deal with for those marauders. They get rid of a cybercore and a gateway. Is this going to be the point where innovation just turns around? I think it is, and I like that decision. I like that decision a lot. It kind of forced ZEST into a very weird position where he is playing off of a one base. He lost his cybercore. Okay, did remake that very quickly, so that is good. And now he's just kind of on the one base, two gate robo play. Innovation ahead in the workers. And a little bit behind in the army supply. And that is worrisome. May need more than just one bunker. May need a lot more than just one bunker. Finally kills that probe. That probe was still there. Okay. Well, let's see. Need some SCVs on top of that bunker as quickly as possible. I'm not quite sure if Innovation is aware that there will be a big attack coming in straight through the front door. Does not look to be the case. Bunker will fall immediately. Siege tank trying to get itself into a good position. Safeguard the rear. And that seems like it will push ZEST backwards for the time being. Well, he's just going to go for another angle. We'll go for the sentry force field, most likely on the main ramp. Where's that force field? Where is it? There it is. Okay, lovely, done. Now with this main army in the main base of Innovation, starting to target down all the important tech structures here, all the add-ons on the bunkers. Another force field comes in, blocking off the entrance for Innovation once again. Innovation playing it very, very carefully though. And it's just letting any building die that he can afford to lose. Does just not want to lose the game overall at this moment in time. He knows he's got some infrastructure. He's okay with some infrastructure going down of his own. As long as he doesn't take a bad fight here. Or removed from the siege tank fire. He might be able to hold on and still make this a game. It's looking more and more like that is going to happen here. As Innovation is looking as if he's starting to have an easier time holding on here. Not that much coming in from ZEST either, to be fair, right? I mean, he's made a Nexus. He's also kind of went for the expansion route. Now, expansion route? I think it's routes, right? Routes or route? I think route is American and route is British. Ooh, nice shot on that siege tank. Let's manage to pick that one off. Stalkers, come on, Stalkers, save that war prism. They don't have blink. They do not have blink. That is a difficult thing. Cease the tech labs here. We'll go to destroy those, I guess. But the war prism gets out. Gets out safely. Just needs to warp in a couple of Stalkers here now. It should be okay. I can't believe this Viking is still here. There we are. Yep, he's like, oh, you're still here? Okay. And he gets it. Wow. Must have been quite a surprise for ZEST as well. That entire journey home. You're like, okay, well, I guess I made it. And then it still shows up like half a minute later. You just don't expect it, right? You just don't expect it. He lost vision of that Viking a long time ago, right? That Viking was just kind of chasing a general route that he was anticipating the Oracle to take. It wasn't even like he saw the Oracle for a long period of time there. At least that's what it looked like to me when I saw them fly about this far apart. Okay. Third base for innovation is looking pretty solid. Both of these guys, I love this. Neither of them willing to just risk it all here. They're both playing extremely safe. And both of these guys hungry for this victory, it looks like. Neither of them willing to let go easily. And both of them just fortifying absolutely everything they can. Getting themselves, or trying to get themselves in an as advantageous position as possible. Third base for innovation flying across. I think we saw, did we already see Ghost Academy here? No, we do have the armory. No Ghost Academy just quite yet. We do have High Templars on the side of ZEST. That's what he just straight up went for immediately. Let's take a look at what innovation actually saw over here. Right, so he does see the Robo. He sees the Twilight. He didn't see the Templar archives. So yeah, he's still trying to figure it out a little bit. Sees an Archon now, and I wonder if that is gonna tip him off kind of as to what kind of army composition. Okay, well the scan really reveals it, doesn't it? Immediately goes for that Ghost Academy. Yep. So I really do think he wasn't aware of the High Templar up until that moment. Which is why we saw him trying to gain that intel still. Very smart play. Innovation grabbing that intel and decides to also try and make use of this moment. As there's, with the High Templar, there's not that much blink presence. Might be able to get away with a bit of medevac harassment, right? As we were talking about, Zealots not that great at running around from base to base. Trying to take out medevac drops. Especially if you get your drops in, like, awkward positions between the Protoss buildings. Still gotta be careful of those storms, though, of course. But High Templar even slower than Zealots, so... might be okay. Yeah, it's very, very clear that neither of these players are willing to bank it on one big push, right? Neither of them feeling fairly secure enough to just go for it at this moment in time. And thus just waiting for a better opportunity here and there. Still poking around, trying to find opportunities, figuring out what their opponent is at with the base count. Where its army composition is leading towards. And setting up potential flanks as well, of course. 3 Zealots here from ZEST with another Zealot over there. He could very well run in as he sees innovation trying to commit for something. I guess seeing that little amount of Zealots here as well. Again, a bit of an insight as to ZEST not wanting to throw away this game by sending off too many units on a flank. So another sign of both these players being very, very careful with one another. Upgrade wise, it's pretty pretty reasonable lead at the moment for Inno. But we are catching up rather quickly here for ZEST as well. The +1/+1 has just finished up. +3 weapons is on the way though already, as +2 weapons for ZEST is about at the same time period in the production tab right now. Here we go, 2 big pushes from Innovation. I do believe he saw those zealots trying to go for a run by. Oh, big storms landing, and Innovation does manage to dodge the disruptors. Something he's not that great at, but did make a good move with that one. I believe he himself also makes that claim that it seems like a lot of Terran are pretty darn great at dodging those... oh, good EMPs. No storm this time around. But yeah, he's... a lot of Terrans are pretty good at dodging those disruptor shots, but he just can't seem to make it work. Disruptors from here. The army on the right side decides to make a flank happen right on top of the Protoss forces. Oh, a lot of disruptors here in a lot of trouble. They still manage to get some connections going. Innovation, he is breaking the back of the very expensive units that ZEST has here. ZEST might be able to still clean it up though. Stalker's trying their best, microing backwards. ZEST taps out. He could not do it anymore. Innovation takes it all in the end with a game number 9 going into his favor. GG is called, and wow.